guys, it's Ann, and I am coming from you from my living room. Actually, I've got lights in the background. Let's see if we can turn you. No, that's not any better. Anyway, I'm coming to you from my kitchen, living room area where I work, really. My office is over that way, and this is Coffee with Ann. You will probably meet Rocky because he's really nosy and he hears me talking. This is our first one. I'm really excited about doing it, and I did plan, because if you're going to do a live video, you should plan. So if you're thinking about doing a live video, make sure you kind of have an idea of what you want to talk about. Today we're going to talk about life as a stay-at-home or a work-at-home mom and an entrepreneur, and I kind of broke it down. How are we going to break that down? So I want to talk to you about the biggest surprise that I've had since I became an entrepreneur and the biggest decision that came because of that surprise. I want to talk to you about the reasons I am really happy I hired, even though I was very much resisting it. Brent Simpson, who is my business advisor, told me I should do it, and I said, "Are you crazy? I don't have the money to hire somebody." He talked me into it, and actually Talbot Watkins said the same thing, and I told him the same thing. "Are you crazy?" But I'm doing it. Hey, Corey, he says he can only watch for a few minutes. I'm glad you're here. So if you guys have questions, if you want to ask me things, in the next one, I think I'll talk about the nonprofit and why it's important to, even as an entrepreneur, even as busy as I am, why it's important to do more and to give more. So we'll do that next, but let's go back to this. So we're going to talk about my biggest surprise. We're going to talk about the reasons I'm happy I hired, and we're going to talk about what it's like to run a business from home. And it's a real business. It's interesting because it's a real business, which is actually leads me right into my biggest surprise. That's my biggest surprise. I started this business in August of 2016, and when I started it, it was really fun. I enjoyed meeting with the clients that I met, but I only had 2 clients in the beginning, and then I got a third, and then I got a fourth, and it was fun. It was exciting, but it wasn't a real business yet. It didn't feel like a real business because I could still pick Zane up from school. I could walk, I could go walk and pick him up. I could ride my bike in the middle of the afternoon and still come home and get my work done. I could do things. And then a few months ago, it became a real business, like probably 6 months ago, and I had a lot of clients. It was actually after last summer, because last summer I took most of the summer off. I did work, but I'd gotten myself automated enough to get it all done for the summer so that I could spend time at the pool with Zane, and I could spend time on vacation, and I could do a whole lot more. And then we grew, and we grew a lot, and now I work all the time, and that's another thing we'll talk about, how much I work, how often I find myself working late at night and early in the morning and on the weekends. And when that happened, I went, whoa, okay, I have to make a decision. Do I want to grow this business? Do I want to make it something really big? Because I think it has potential to be really, really big. I've got some partners that I'm talking to across the country. I've got people here that I want to work with. I've got a lot happening. So do I really want to go down that route, or do I want to take these last few years with Zane? And I decided I want to go down that route. And it was a tough decision, but it was also in a way an easy decision, because it goes back to Ironman. It goes back to making the decision to be selfish and to do Ironman with my, even though my kids were little, and even though it meant I was going to have to take a lot of time off. So to do the Ironman, one of the reasons I did it was because I thought, what a lesson I'm teaching my children by showing them how far I can push myself and how hard I'm going to work and what commitment really can get you. And in that case, commitment got me a freaking great race. If you guys watched that, I couldn't believe that race. But that's what commitment got me. So that was a great lesson for my kids. And now Zane is bigger. He's 11. Ethan's about to go off to college, hopefully to St. Mary's next, I guess in the fall, so soon. And Zane's about to graduate from college. And so Blaze is about to graduate from college. Ethan's over there correcting me. Anyway, thought it would be good for them to see this lesson. Watch mom grow a business, see what we can do with it, and see again what commitment and dedication and hard work can get you. So the hardest decision since I've started this was making that decision. Do I want to make it a real business? And I do, and it's definitely growing. We're looking at hiring again this summer. So if you know anybody who wants to take a position, we've promoted Anastasia. She's been wonderful. So we've promoted her. She is now my what are you again? Director of Operations. She's my director of operations. And we're going to hire an assistant again. So somebody to take over what she's been doing, which is the personal business assistant. So she's done a lot of everything, including getting the dishwasher fixed, and maybe the dishwasher guy will come today. We've been dealing with this for about 8 months at least. I think she said it was almost a year that I've been dealing with the same dishwasher problem, and we finally just gave up and said, okay, let's get a new one. Anyway, now that gets a really good segue into, we've got Anastasia, she's doing this, we're hiring, but hiring the first time was scary. Would I have the money to do it? Could I pay her? Could I come up with enough work? Would I know what to do? Would she just sit here twiddling her thumbs because I didn't know what to do? And so I did hire her, and I've learned a few things. And I want to tell you why I think it's so great to hire. If you are an entrepreneur, if you are starting your business and you really want to make it a business and not just a job, so that the difference there, if it's just a job, you're doing all the work. And you only have so much capacity. You're not going to be able to move on. You're not going to be able to do more, right? So if it's your business, that's different. If it's your business, then you have to run the business and you have to do the work, but you also have to figure out how to delegate. So I decided I wanted it to be a business, and we hired Anastasia, and it was almost an accident. I ran into her at Starbucks, and she asked me to volunteer for something, and I said, whoa, no, I'm too busy. How about you become my assistant? And I was sort of joking, and it really happened, and it was wonderful. It was a good omen for us that we ran into each other the way we did, so it worked out well. But there's a few reasons. One is because, yes, she can do some of the work. She can take some of the load off, and that's wonderful. Second pair of hands is wonderful. If I'm doing one thing and I have 10 things to do, she can take some of them, right? And we can delegate, and we can make sure that she gets some work, I get some work, and then some things that are just really things that I don't personally have to do, she can take off my plate, which is really nice. So that second set of hands is really important. It's also a second brain. This whole thing, I said to her, I think I'm going to do a live video, a weekly live video. And I think we'll do it at 11 o'clock on Tuesdays, and that's what we'll do. And she said, okay. She kind of didn't say much about it at all. And then the next day came back and said, we should call it Coffee with Ann. And I love that, because I was busy working on clients and she was busy working on my business. And that's one of the benefits, is that she can think about things that I'm not thinking about because I'm busy working with a client. So she says, let's call it Coffee with Ann. And it can be like you, it can be personal, because when you're working with clients, you don't do it as just a straight up business person. One of the things people like about working with ASMM is that we are personal, and I don't sit in there and give you the ROI and the SEO and the SEM. I don't throw these things at you like I'm the smartest person in the room. I throw them at you and say, let's talk about these things in a way that's human. And so this show is going to be human. You're going to learn a lot about us and what we do, and we'll introduce you to Ethan, we'll introduce you to Anastasia, we'll introduce you to Rocky over here, because he's a big part of the job, and we couldn't do it without him. So having that second brain to think of things, or sometimes I'll just say to her, I have no idea what to do here. What would you do here? And sometimes I've just worked out a situation where I have a person who is helping me do some work that we do here, but basically I'm giving him referrals, and then he does the work here, and that's really cool. But I was like, how do we set it up? How do we make sure we get the contract right? How do we make sure we get the payments right? How do we do this? And having the second person with a second brain is great, because she can think differently than I can think. So that's the second one.